Hi, Joyce. Can you hear me? Thank you. I just thought we'd try to do a test live. I know it's unplanned. So. Is it slow? How are you, Joyce? Alright. It's the first time I try to do this live, so. Thank you. Because I want to prep the. You're welcome. I'm prepping for that sew sampler box that I got from Fat Quarter Shop. The Daydream quilt. So I figured I'd prep and test out the live. Thank you. I did finally finish the remodel, but I'm editing the video so that you guys can see what I've done to the shop. I know that a lot of people don't. I originally was going to quit, but then a lot of people were hoping I'd do this live. So. Yeah, I was kind of hoping others would show up soon. I know it's unplanned. But it's one of those testing things. So. That ruler does not want to stay. I understand. I'm on one of those too. So. And I figure you guys can ask questions if you want to know about me. And I'm just checking on the weather. We're supposed to have a severe thunderstorm, so. Let me. Let's see. Here we go. Wrong one. Sorry. That look better? Yikes. I hope it calms down later. We started with severe wind with 82 degrees. Then it says it's going to rain. So are you doing any sewings today? Hi, Laura. How are you? I hope you're okay. And it was a good note for it. But, hi Laura, how are you? I'm doing a testing. It probably won't stay on very long because we're supposed to have a really severe storm coming in. So, I'm working on the prepping for the Daydreams quilt because I know that it's January's sampler box. I know February's on my way. So, that's good, Joyce. I just got the notification for February, so sample box, and it should be here Friday. I will post a video as soon as it gets here. Or might do a live and then start on the day, so, but I don't want to be on Sew Becca's time. So yes, Laura. It's the one that Sobaka and Teresa were working on. But I had a couple of subscribers asked if I would do one too. So instead of, I figured I'd just have a little test of a live because I was trying to play around to see if I can make it work. And so this is just a test as I cut up fabric and prep it. So I'm doing, instead of what they're using, give me a second. Their 2 accents, this is my accent fabric. It's got butterflies and flowers. I don't know how well it will show up. And then my border is going to be this pink flower. The pattern, the daydream pattern, or the fabric. It has flowers, leaves, and butterflies in it. So, I don't know how good it's going to pull up. And then I'm using, I'll flip this over a little bit. I'm using white with on white, but for some reason it won't show up. Thank you, Laura. As I was telling Joyce, Laura, I will be putting up a video of my shop remodel. Sean's been encouraging me, the guy who sews, to do that. So it, to me, it kind of looks like that grunge gray with the different shades of gray when I look at it with a watermark. Look at that again. But I know this was unplanned, but I do plan on to letting everybody know that I'll be on for this pattern. So. Thank you, Laura. I'm trying. It's just, I was nervous at first, and I was playing around, and so my microphone on my camera was picking up this machine behind me, if I can point to it. This black computer here, and this little box behind me. That is my long arm. I have a very small shop. It's a 10 by 20. It's getting too small. I've already told my husband, so he knows that he wants to build me a better one. But we gotta do what we gotta do. But I will be putting out more content. I'm just thought I'd try this live as a test to see if it works great, my volume's great. Because doing the live test in private by myself was confusing to figure out how I would sound. Are you sewing anything today, Laura? Thank you, Laura. What kind of long arm did you get? I always like to learn why they get different brands. So, oh, I know it was unplanned, but I do plan on making sure you guys know ahead of time. I just got to figure out all the, that's a good brand too. I know all the brands are really good. I've tried them all. I ended up, when I chose this one behind me, is because the way I felt with the company itself. And so the company I went with was a family owned, and they sell Bernina, Handy Quilter, Baby Lock, and all that. I always try to pick what makes me feel comfortable, and I'm glad you found something you like. I understand that feeling. King size and queen size won't fit in a little small sewing machine. So, I understand that. That's where I found mine too, trying at the shows. Cause I went to a store in 45 minutes from me, and they weren't the best people to work with, but the other store I went to that is the same amount of miles from me was an amazing family, and plus they know my mom, so it turned out perfect. Yeah, so, oh, I'm gonna show you. I keep track of numbers of how many that pattern says of blocks that I need, and so I kind of subtract it as I go, because it, like, they would call for 180 blocks, and so it just confuses me, and I'll do too many and then have leftovers. So and that's good. But isn't that a long drive for you? Because if I'm correct, you're not far from me. I'm in Kansas. Oh, besides. I do, if I needed to. But I try to do as many as the pattern says. But I do plan on making some projects with my AccuQuilt, so do you guys have any plans for the rest of the week? No, I do not have waste. What I do is, hold on, let me grab me one of the dies. So the die looks like this. So what I do, let me see if I can put, I take about a 1/4 inch around. So like my ruler has a 1/4 inch. Sorry, I have to turn it to look at me. So I take about 1/4 inch around, like my ruler. I just put the line on that. And then I go around 1/4 inch, measure it, and I'll cut strips up to that and try to make sure the 1/4 inch around it goes. My husband surprised me 4 years ago with this thing. So, sorry if the table wobbles. Not one of the sturdiest ones. But I do love them. I do use them sometimes. Like this one is 3.5-inch square. So, and I actually have the Go Big. So, I am also not only just doing content on making the quilt, I'm also going to do some content on long arming and some embroidering and some tips and tricks that I've learned over the years. So, Laura, since you are getting a long arm, if you look on if you have Facebook, if not, I thought about making Discord for this side. I have a Facebook called Long Arm Demo and Tutorial. Sorry, I have to think of what it was. That's where I do tutorials and have others help each other. Are you talking about the LQ quilt, Laura, or the project I'm working on? And I have another good friend who does some long arm content as well. Her name is Lorena Quilting. She's really awesome as well on YouTube. Okay. I wasn't sure on the question before the long arm content. Are you talking about the LQ quilt strips or the stuff I'm working on? The LQ quilt? Hold on. Yeah, I have 2 of them. This is the 2.5-inch die. So basically I would measure from like 1/4 inch on this top die to this end. And sometimes what I do is I fold over or I just stack on top. Hi around to it. I'm not sure what your name is. Ow. At the same time I have to teach my daughter not to touch the blades. Because the blades are literally right here. Hi, Shirley. And this one is actually, okay, this one is 5.5. So the blades from here to here. So, and let me see. I bought a book that says Go Cube, because I have a whole set. You're welcome, Laura. I do usually use the LQ quilt more, but lately I've been using just manually cutting because like fat quarter shop patterns have certain sizes. So Shirley, what I was doing is a testing live. I did one by myself, but I couldn't tell if the volume was good or not. And so that's why I figured I'd do one with you all to maybe help with that. And Laura, since you're getting a long arm, I will tell you, if you can do it, get a backup power source, because if the electricity goes off, I don't know how it's called, my husband did this, he bought me a backup it's kind of like a little mini generator, and if the power goes out, you don't lose where you're at on the system. You have a certain amount of hours on it, and it won't ruin your machine. If that gives you enough help with that part, if you're wondering about that. Thank you, Shirley. Just trying to see how this works. And I hope I don't sound too nervous. So. So, do you ladies would like me to do, I don't know who does, oh, she moved, okay. She actually moved to her two-story house thing in the backyard now. But, do you guys know if anybody's having a Wednesday live or a Thursday live? Because I'm trying to not go on the weekends, because I know Becca goes Friday, Stephanie goes Saturday, and Tiff and Teresa are on Sunday. Thank you, Laura. I just want to make sure everybody can have their time to be with whoever's on live on those days, and not have to split their attention. I figured that is what you meant, Laura. I wasn't sure. She's doing amazing. I think also she's working on her Glowforge. Hi, Teresa. It's just more of a test live to see. So, I'm working on the same project you are, Teresa. From Sunday with Becca. How you doing, Teresa? And the other reason I'm doing it now is, yes, that is a very good thing, Joyce. I don't have my puppies out. I have 3 German Shepherds, because it's supposed to storm and I don't want them in the rain. But they love to bark. So, I figured the perfect timing. I am just cutting. I literally got halfway through the background fabric. So, I was just figured I'd do the test live to make sure the volume's good. And see how everyone's doing today. Always a good time to have a nap, right, Teresa? I know that I do that too sometimes, but I figured take the advantage when hubby has the kid and I don't have to chase her around to make sure she's not on video. So I hope you had a wonderful nap though. I know I forgot tea quote goes on Wednesday night. I think I want to do tomorrow, but I don't want to do too late because I like to see tea quote. I have not seen Practical Creative yet. The cutting is fun. 5/8 is a little. I'm not used to 5/8 on this, but I'm trying. So I do know that I'm getting my next box this weekend. From Fat Quarter Shop. But I do I've starched my fabric before I came on, and I have had all the colorful fabric cut in the strips before I cut them down. I'm sorry. Hold on. Trying to find one. There it is. Hi, Kathy. The yellow. Hi, Sean. I hope everybody's doing good. Well, Anybody else sewing today? Hey Sean, do you notice something different on your name? Hi Kathy. It's actually my first live, so don't worry, you didn't miss anything yet. I don't drop my alky quilt. Guys. Yeah, I figured I'd go ahead. I figured with me wanting to do more lives and the way I like in this, I wanted to make sure I have some moderators. You did spell it correctly, Shirley. And if some of you want, so it's not so confusing, you don't have to say Courtney. You can say CJ, because that's one of my nicknames. So if it helps. Hi, Sandra. Is Teresa still here? That helps, really. So I can to tell you a little backstory on that name. So my mom named me with two middle names and my first and last. So part of this J is one of my first initial of my middle name. So, I thought I lost you for a second, Teresa. I'm glad you're still here. I am working on the same thing Teresa and Sobecca did on Sunday while they're cutting. The daydream quilt. Yeah. So, I thought if I tried this live first to make sure that the the testing, I had some issues doing a private testing and the microphone on the secondary camera was picking up the long arm behind me. So, you eating soup. I hope it's a yummy soup. So, I lost count. 2, 4, 6, 8. So, I don't know how good it's going to look, but this is the accent fabric that I'm doing. How long have I been a quilter? I have been a quilter for 5 years. I am actually the first generation out of my family. There's 4 generations right now. My grandma, my mom, me, and my daughter. So I'm the first one out of them. Ooh, that sounds yummy, Teresa. What made me decide to become a quilter was I needed something to do while I was stuck at home recovering from a back surgery. I fell in love watching YouTube. And this is before I found Teresa and Tiffany and Sobecca. I was watching Angela Walter, Missouri Star, and Lorena. And that's when I got into it. And ever since then, I just fell in love with it. I have been teaching my little daughter to be a sewist too. She has claimed one of the 3 little machines I have. So, and please be more than welcome to ask me any questions you have. And I do want to mention, I know Teresa knows, I am hard of hearing and / deaf on the opposite ear. I've been hard of hearing for most of my life. Since we didn't find out until I was 3. But at 2, I learned how to read lips. And so, within the last year, I had to get I don't know if you can see it, a cochlear to help with my hearing. So, I hope eventually she would want to. Mine is kind of a little complicated with her. She'll feel like she wants to sew, and then she's done. And it takes her months before she comes back into it. Except for when it comes to my 2 older nieces, they love to sew. When they visit, they sew. It has been fun sewing with her. Thank you, Sean. I've been trying. Trying to do this live before the storm kind of comes in. We ended up spiking up to 83 degrees today. And all of a sudden, right before the live, it started sprinkling, and so I had to put my 3 puppies up so that they are not stuck in the rain. She claimed my very first machine, which is a B770, and so but thank you, Laura. Sometimes it kind of, I notice it can. My great-grandma and my grandma, they did sew, but they made wallets. They made homemade checkbook wallets. And then my grandma quit, and I ended up with the old machine. Except to come to find out it wasn't working. But I kept it anyways. Family heritage. And it was a Kenmore. Thank you, Teresa. And like I've said before you came on, Sean has been encouraging me to do a full tour of a before and after. This is my new current state of the sewing room. That's good, Sean. So what we did was made an L shape. My husband was the reason behind this. Is he surprised me and said, let's go ahead and remodel to make all the furniture match. So I have 3 little machines. Technically they're not little because they're heavy. I have 2 bananas. I have one that is exactly like Ian's. And I have one, just a regular one. And then I have a Brother Quattro. And then behind me is my Bernina Q24. Trying to set it in the middle so that it fits a little bit better. Always turn. I was glad to see you, Shirley. Have a good dinner. I don't know how much longer I'll be on because I have to probably go and have dinner with my family. I actually live across the street from my mom, so we kind of have family dinners together. I'm hoping to get the video edited this week, but I want to try and get on live after I finish all the cutting, because I thought if I prep Teresa, it would probably go smoother. And I've noticed a lot of people like to watch sewing room tours. My sewing room is a 10 by 20 shop. My mom surprised me about a year and a half into sewing a little shop for me to put all my machines and everything in. Before I had the Bonina, I had an if I can say it, Elna 9600 machine. I still have a little bit of gleaming to Sean. I just haven't quite figured out everything yet, but it's getting there. Thank you, Teresa. It has been the best thing. So, I do know I can't do any lives on Thursdays because I have a long day. I volunteer at my daughter's school. The best job to do. Let me see if I can do something real quick. There you go. I'm gonna put that dye up real quick. Thank you, Laura. That is actually an iron board, Teresa. Have a good dinner, Joyce. And I hope that your fur babies have a full belly tonight. I actually created that one. I took a plywood board to turn it into an iron board. Because I have a 17 by 24 wool mat. And it just didn't feel big enough for me. Especially when I run, like you do, Teresa, a long arm business behind me. I like to make sure I have a big enough mat instead of having Thank you, Laura. I've had that Rowenta 2.5 years now. My husband did researches. I tell him what I need. He searches it for me so I don't have to spend all day looking for it. So, But when I did get this shop, when I had somebody come in and do the electrical, I made sure that there was enough plug-ins around the building and LED lights. I don't only have a purple iron board. And let me see if I can move this camera up for you. I have purple walls as well. So I always have snacks hiding behind the little sewing machine. How many of you actually keep snacks in your sewing rooms? Except for most of the time, my daughter likes to steal these. These are like my favorite snacks in the world, and I'll show you. They are Dot's Pretzels home style. So my kiddo was like, I gotta steal them. So it's like I have to hide them from her. Purple's my favorite color, as you can see. My wedding theme was purple. And so I went and got a mani-pedi before I got married 7 years ago. And my husband did something really special. And most guys don't do this, but my husband ended up painting his toenail, his big toenail, of a purple butterfly for our wedding. So and that's the kiddo. I'm gonna head off, and maybe later I'll get back on. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Isabella.